of advice for getting on the road is to make friends and be social. You know, of course, we got to be a little more careful about that these days, but I still think it's really important to meet people, and it's been incredibly enriching. Yeah, part of the lesson I've learned in van life is improvising, and say something breaks or you're missing something, you're forced to improvise, and these are lessons that we don't necessarily have to deal with anymore, and it's really fun when you figure out a workaround or some other way to get past that thing that you thought you really needed.
Tour of the exterior here. Nice. So you got extra coils in the back, custom coils to give it a little bit of extra spring rate and more stiffness in the back, right?
Absolutely. It's been a game changer. There's a company called coilsprings.com. You can find them on the web, and you literally send them the difference between the stock weight and your loaded weight, and they'll make a custom spring to accommodate that weight, and it's worked great.
Does that give you added lift?
It did. It ended up raising up the rear end by about 2 inches. And then when I ended up getting new struts installed on the front, my mechanic was able to adjust the height, and essentially I got about a 2-inch lift. I didn't do any bigger tires. I like the high mileage highway tires, and they've actually been working pretty good, and I've been able to handle all my off-road situations if I feel like getting a little crazy.
That is so cool. So coming around the exterior, you have cargo box up here.
So I bought this used on Craigslist, nothing fancy, but pretty much I have an outdoor kitchen setup, and most of my outdoor kitchen setup fits in here. I also fit my spare tire in here.
Well, of course, we got the specialized stump jumper.
Yep, my companion, my adventure vehicle.
29-incher. Very nice. So up top, we got 100 watts of solar, it looks like?
Yeah, my Renogy 100-watt solar, and that charges my house battery, which runs my fridge and my diesel heater, all my lighting.
Well, you guys gotta check out Jay's channel, because he has this nice ARB awning here with an extra room. I know you're excited to talk about that.
I am. I wish I had it set up where you could see it, but I have this ARB awning and the Deluxe room combo. The awning pulls out, so if I want, I can have a nice 8-foot by 8-foot awning, and then what's really neat is underneath that awning I can drop a fully enclosed room, and with that room I can do a screened out room, I can open it up, I can fully enclose it like a tent, and it's just a very versatile feature that I've added to my van that adds a ton of living space.
Little hiding there is your diesel tank.
Yes, yeah, diesel tank right there. It has a little snow on it, but a 5-liter diesel tank, and then down here you can see the exhaust pipe and some of the other plumbing for the diesel heater runs underneath the vehicle.
Well, I'm so glad we got a chance to meet.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
crazy.
It's always fun to meet other minivan life people and share ideas and make new friends. That's part of my journey out here on the road.
Heck yeah. Oh, can we see the interior?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So on the interior, I did a lot of building. So I put in a full flat floor. That was a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. That was a lot of work to get a nice flat floor. Inside of a minivan, when you strip everything out, there's not a single right angle. There's not a single flat surface. So everything involves a lot of shaping, a lot of contouring, and it's very time consuming. I'm sure David can share that as well. So then on top of the floor, I built some cabinets as well where I store a lot of my clothes. Some cooking items are in here, and various camera gear, toiletries, things like that.
So this control panel,
It really houses everything I need just at a reach, so I can sit back here and reach around and grab all this. So we'll start with my 600-watt pure sine wave inverter. This is great if I need to charge my laptop or anything that requires an AC outlet, 110. Here's my controller for my diesel heater. This thing's a game changer. If you're not familiar with the diesel heater for your RV or van, check these out because they keep you warm and toasty. Over here we're going to take a look at these are my cigarette port adapters. So I used to have some USB ports in here, but realize it's better to just have the sockets, and then you can, depending on what connections you need, you can pick and choose your sockets here. Another feature that a lot of people really like about my van is I hacked into the rear window. So these rear window vents, I didn't want to have to crawl up front and turn on the ignition to access these windows. So I hacked into it, and I'm able to control them from the rear of the vehicle.
open. And close.
Just like that. So I have two of those so I can control either side. Here is my vent line 6-inch roof vent. So with a minivan, since I'm limited with my roof space, I went ahead and installed the 6-inch vent. It's covered up right now. I put that little foam piece in there just to keep any wind from coming through while I'm driving. But that'll pop up and exhaust the air in my van really quickly. And then the last thing I'll show you here is my light switches. So people also like this. So the first ones I'll show you are in the seat belt slots. So if you look across the van there, that is where the seat belt used to be. So I put a little light diffuser in there and a LED strip, and it makes a great little light. And then the other lights I did are in the ceiling, and these used to be the outlets for the heater. So there's a rear heater core in these vans. I took that out, so I didn't need these ports anymore, and I decided to put some lights in there. And you can see they're kind of like mini blinds. It's really neat.
Really cool directional lights, tapped right into the factory heating elements. It makes it almost looks like OEM. Really clean looking. You don't have to attach stuff and try to tape it to your roof line or anything like LED strips. That is so cool.
Yeah, so when I did my build, I really wanted to protect my floor space. That was the most critical thing. So I didn't do a fixed bed. Almost all van builds seem to center their build around their bed. I didn't want to do that. So I put in this trifold mattress. It's very comfortable to it's very comfortable to sleep on or sit on, but not very comfortable to sleep on. After a while, the foam degrades. So behind it, I actually have a mattress topper. Can't really see it, but it's a air memory foam combo. It's very warm, and it gives me that comfort I need when I'm sleeping.
So coming around this side, you got your water storage and a little work table and your auxiliary solar generator, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. So I have this little 50-watt panel right here. You can see the 50-watt panel. I'll pull that out and use that to charge my little Rock Pals 300 power bank. It's just a small system. It actually works really great, and that just helps supplement my main system because I want that to focus on my refrigerator. I want to have enough juice to run my heater, and it's not a very big system. It's a 100-watt solar panel with just one AGM battery in the back. I'm not sure how many amp hours it is, but it just gives me enough to run all these critical systems. And then my Rock Pals unit charges like my laptop and my tablet and my phone, and has been pretty handy.
And you charge this while running your car?
So I can charge it both. You can charge it with an AC outlet, you can charge it with your cigarette port adapter, and then of course you can plug in a solar panel. So there's a lot of different ways to charge it up.
Cool. And this is the fridge.
Yep, this is my Dometic 18-liter fridge. I just recently put this cover on it to help insulate a little bit more. That way it runs less, saves some energy, and just enough room inside for a single guy to stay fed.
So how long you been in the van? How long you been full-timing? Or?
So I'm going on my second year of full-time van life. It's been absolutely incredible, and a lot of people wonder how a 6'2" guy can live in a van, and it's been easy. I'm not gonna lie. I've been very comfortable. I stay warm, I feel safe, and I'm just having a blast.
Well, it seems like you're well kitted. You have your solar, you have your diesel heater, fridge. I mean, you got all your modern conveniences in here.
Yeah, everything you need. Honestly, I try to think what I'd do differently, and there's not a whole lot I would change about this build. Sometimes I think about maybe removing the passenger seat and making a better dedicated cook area inside the van, but I just don't really need it that much. I may still do that, but right now it's just everything's been working out great.
Really cool. And what made you get into living this lifestyle?
Well, that's a good question. So my background, I was a corporate recruiter for 15 years. So I was a desk jockey and worked a desk job forever, but I always felt like I didn't belong there and started researching alternate lifestyles. I came across van life and just thought that'd be a great way to find the freedom that I want and do things differently, do things on my terms, and live the life that I want.
So what would you say total investment, everything we see here?
So if you look at the chassis modifications that I did, the roof rack, the awning, the room, I probably have about 10K invested into the van, which honestly isn't that bad for a full-blown camper.
Not including the stump jumper.
Not including the stump jumper, no. I also had a mishap with my motor. I had a miscommunication on when the timing belt was replaced from the previous owner, so I actually blew up my motor this last summer and had to replace that, and that is not included in the 10K total. So yeah, up here, CO2 smoke alarm,
Yeah.
and then my indoor-outdoor thermometer. Like, you get addicted looking at the indoor-outdoor thermometer. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm always checking out that thing.
So where is the sensor? Where'd
It's
you
on
put
top
that?
of the roof. It's underneath the roof box.
Oh,
Where
gotcha.
the outdoor sensor is at.
Yeah, that's a good place for it.
Yeah, and I did insulate my van, so you can see it's holding, warmer temperature inside.
So what'd you do to insulate?
So I used a combination of denim style insulation, so it's cotton with a kind of a Reflectix layer on the outside. On the floor, I put a bunch of foam board underneath it, and then the third type of insulation I used is the Reflectix. So I used 3 different kinds to accomplish what I wanted to do.
So that's kind of a highly debated topic of, I don't need insulation, or yeah, you should. What do you think?
I think you should definitely insulate. I don't think you need to go crazy with the insulation, but it's nice to have the temperature difference. So say it's really hot outside, it's 100 degrees outside. I can have it 80 degrees inside here by running my fans and vents. Now, if it's really cold, it's going to be about 10 or 15 degrees warmer in here. Now, maybe where the debate comes is with the diesel heater. If you have a diesel heater in your van, they're incredibly warm, and at that point, you really don't need a bunch of insulation. But after living in the van and having the heater and just being in all types of different climates and environments, I would want insulation.
Same here. Might as well do it right.
Yes.
And then what I gotta do is add in a curtain up here. So I know a lot of people, they use tent poles to kind of use that contour of the tent pole to line the curtains.
So I
Is
used,
that what you did?
yeah, so I used 2 things. So it was very simple. So if you look over here, Dave, you can see the start of the bungee cord. You can see the hook for it.
Oh,
And
it tucks right
yeah,
in.
and all it does is hook to the trim, and then it kind of sags and makes this curve right here, and then there's just a single anchor point. I used a plastic drywall anchor and then screwed this little tab of Velcro onto it. That's all it is. And then this tent pole right here is what gives the structure across the top. So that holds it nice and firm across the top, and without that, you'd have it kind of drooping.
Right, yeah.
So that seals it up and really makes it an effective blackout curtain. On the sides, what I do is I just take it and I stuff it in the seat belt, in the seat belt.
Oh, yeah.
And that covers the side right
You got
there.
some really good coverage right there. And I am gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's been working good. I'd recommend that. I've had a couple different indoor outdoor temperature sensors, and that one's been nice. It also senses humidity, so you can get an idea if it's going to snow or rain.
Okay. And then you also use, is this a 1 pound or 1 gallon propane tank?
Yes, so you can find them on Amazon. They're made by Wellington, and it just saves you a ton of money. I don't have to buy those little green propane canisters. This thing will last me over a month, and it cost me $3 to fill up.
Oh, wow. Is it hard to find places to fill those smaller sizes up, or is it the same fitting?
It's the exact same thing. So just go to any gas station or a U-Haul or a True Value. They usually have a propane refill station, and they'll fill that up.
Mm-hmm. And so a couple more 12-volt cigarette ports here.
Correct.
Very cool. Yeah, you are definitely outfitted.
And then the fire extinguisher, just for safety. You never know.
Yep.
Want to be ready.
And this is where you handle your business?
So
Emergency business?
So this is what I call my multi-purpose bucket. I sit on this thing all the time. I use it for a footstool if you want to kick your feet up on it. And then, of course, I store a lot of like things that might be underneath your kitchen sink. So like rags, my soap, dish soap, various things. Now say it comes time to take care of business. Typically I'm a backpacker, so I'll take care of my business outside. But if I do have to take care of my business inside, I pull this out. So it's kind of a bucket inside of a bucket. Throw that on there, and then what I do, the secret is you line the whole thing with the trash bag, and then take care of your business.
Nice and simple, and also doubles as storage.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to get one of those too. I can find room for that. Just in case for those emergency times.
Yes, exactly. If you can't find a gas station, or you're not in a situation to take care of your biz, and honestly, it works out fine.
So anything, I know you said that you didn't know what you would do different, but now that you've lived in it for, you said almost 2 years, anything that you don't like about your build?
Pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it.
I
It's
mean,
just been working great. It's been very durable. Nothing's been breaking. It's very functional. It's extremely versatile, and I think that's the key to my van build is I can just change the configuration. I can move things around. I can extend my awning. I can extend my side room. I can retract all that. I can even move things around inside of here, and it just makes for all kinds of different living situations work out well.
well, there's so much space in here. A lot of room for activities.
Yeah, and so I need to be able to stretch out my legs. I have a bad shoulder right now, so I'm able to come down here on the floor and do some yoga or stretches or a little strength training. I can push up the bed and give me even more room. And the floor space is pretty uncanny in this vehicle. If you look at most van builds, and even like a full-size van struggles to get this much floor space available.
Did you consider any other vehicle when you were thinking about this lifestyle?
I did. I originally pictured myself in like a full-size Econoline or Chevy Express, something like that. But when I was researching, I didn't like the idea of the bad gas mileage. Like you're probably going to get between 10 or 15 miles per gallon. I get between 20 and 25 in this.
Wow.
I also have always owned Hondas. I love Hondas. I think they're great cars. And I also had a friend at the time who had converted a Sienna and did a small conversion on a Sienna, and they were having a great time in it. And I just realized I could do okay with the small space and decided to give it a try. So decided to go the minivan route.
How was downsizing your life?
Hard, very hard. So I came from a 4-bedroom house, and it took me a good year of constantly getting rid of stuff. So either throwing away stuff, taking it to the thrift store or Goodwill, selling stuff on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. But it took me a good year of consistent downsizing and really letting go of some things that you thought you might want, but once you're out here, you forget about those things and you don't miss them at all. I do have a 5x5 storage unit back in Colorado Springs, my hometown. So I have a few things stored in there. I have 2 more bicycles, and I can switch those out depending on what type of riding I'm doing. So I do have a few things in storage, but for the most part, this is my home. This is where I live. Everything I have and need is right here.
Speaking of social media, how do people find you?
So journeyvision.net. So journeyvision, all one word. .net, and that's my website. You can also find me on YouTube. Just search for Journey Vision, and then connect with me on Instagram and Facebook. So J Moyes on Facebook, and then Moyes J at Moyes J on Instagram. I'd love to have you guys connect and follow along the journey.
Yeah, talk a little bit more about your blog, because you spend a lot of time in that, and I've read a lot of your posts, and you go into detail exactly some of your trials and tribulations, so you can help other people. If they read that, they don't go through the same issues, right?
Yeah. So I try to make my blog informative, so it covers my travels. It's a way for me to document my travels and cover everywhere I've gone, but I've also been doing some how-tos and some reviews. So I did a review on my ARB awning and room combo, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. A lot of good pictures, a lot of good information on that system. I also did a write-up on my diesel heater. So I screwed up. I basically ruined my first diesel heater by doing a bad install, and learned a lot in my second install, and it's working great now. So I also did a write-up on that on my blog, and if you're curious about the diesel heater and maybe do things a little different than me, then go check that out.
And this is so how much water do you carry with you at any given time?
So I'm able to carry 10 gallons of water. This little jug, water cooler style jug, will hold 3 gallons. This little pump is great. I've been thinking about maybe switching to one of those USB rechargeable ones, but it's just nice having something really simple. You just squeeze this a few times, it starts pumping out your water. And then I have 7 more gallons here, which actually fits really nicely underneath my table. That just actually happened to work out, both of those fitting perfectly underneath there. I didn't plan that. But yeah, these can move around, so if I want to, I can slide this table back, and you know, I have a desk area to work from in the back, and then when I don't need it, you can just slide it back up front. And You might ask, like, do I have problems with stuff sliding around? No, nothing rattles, nothing slides around, nothing really moves unless I hit the brakes really hard. Since they're pushed up against the seats, you don't get a lot of movement. If I need to, I put these straps in here so I can actually strap everything down. Like maybe I have some more water or some more gear. There's another strap over there and I can pull everything against the seats. And in the back, everything's packed up so nice.
This is like OCD level of organization. Really cool. Your bedding in there. There's the diesel heater exhaust as well as one coming on this side here. Right there. So you get and you got to it's directional. Really nice. And this was very comfortable to sit on. Yeah, another little light coming out of the little seat belt. Really cool. I would love to integrate this into my van.
Yeah, hopefully it gives everybody some good ideas.